Today we're gonna do a review of the Orendo & Co. Classic Everyday Backpack. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing 500 plus of the world's best bags, and we're gonna tear this bad boy apart. We're gonna talk about the pros, the cons, we're gonna pack it out, we're gonna test the literage, and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video. Because if you're not quite sold that this is the bag for you, I'll make a few alternative recommendations so you can find the bag that best fits your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Orendo & Co. Classic Everyday Backpack. Now, it should be noted, this is a sponsored review, but here at Nomads Nation, sponsored reviews do not equate to positive reviews. All that sponsored reviews get the brand is the ability to choose their publish date. Because we have like so many bags to review. It's insane. There are so many bags over there. So by doing a sponsored review, Orendo gets to jump to the front of the line. And you'll see throughout this review that we are completely honest, because that's what we do best here at Nomads Nation, honest bag reviews. This is my first bag from Orendo & Co., and they're quite an interesting company. Let's talk about some of the bag's top features. We've got a very streamlined and minimalist aesthetic, a quick access front pocket, a super spicy orange internal lining, which I'm a big fan of, a half zip opening to the main compartment, which also gives you some decent organization. We got a couple of external water bottle holders, a luggage pass-through that allows you to carry your bag vertically on the suitcase, and a quick access top pocket as well. This bag currently comes in 4 color options. Now for the size of the bag, we got a height of 17 inches, a back panel width of just under 11 inches, and a base depth of just under 5 inches. And all this, Orendo claims, brings the bag to around 15 liters in size, which we're gonna test out. 15 liters is a great size for everyday carry, assuming you don't carry a ton of stuff. All right, so you can see here we have 5, 10, 15 liters, and we're actually, we're well over the 15 liter mark. The main compartment by itself is measuring around 17 liters, which means if you take a little bit of space in the front compartment, the water bottle holders, and the top pocket, you're looking at easily an 18, 19 liter backpack. So props for Orendo for actually under marketing what the capacity of the bag is. Usually bag companies over market. For the weight of the bag, we're looking at 2.2 pounds. Now for a 15 liter bag, that would be a little bit heavy, but like we said, this actually comes in a little bit bigger than 15 liters. So I'm a bit more okay with that ratio. This is the bag when it's empty, and this is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. For reference, I'm 5'8", and our media manager, Margaret, is 5'2". And we're gonna pack out the bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Orendo products are backed by a 12-month warranty, but you do have to register for it, so be sure to keep that in mind. And for all that, this bag is actually quite budget friendly, only coming in at 99 USD. And if at any point during this review, you're thinking to yourself, damn, that's actually a really cool bag, quite stylish, got some weather resistance, I'm totally gonna pick one up, and you're gonna make a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we highly recommend doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the front of the Orendo & Co. Everyday Backpack. I think the aesthetic is sort of classy, simple, minimalist. It's not like super modern, a little bit of a heritage vibe, but it's using very, very, very modern fabrics, which you can see right here are giving it its sort of chic and rubbery look. And that chic and rubbery look is only amplified by the PU-coated zippers all throughout the bag as well. Now there's pros and cons with fabrics like this. The pro is going to be its insane weather resistance. You can see right here, water is just gonna bounce right off of this bad boy, right? And that's because the rubbery feel the bag has is due to the polyurethane or PU coating, which also applies to the zippers. But the PU coating is not gonna stop water seeping through the seams or the back panel. So do keep in mind this is not a waterproof backpack, but it's pretty water resistant. But on the negative side, this coating can peel over time. PU coatings have this tendency, especially with more exposure to humidity and sunlight, and might end up looking like this. So something to keep in mind. With every fabric, there's always a trade-off. Orendo's branding is nice and subtle. It's actually one recurring theme for this bag is for 99 bucks, it's got a pretty sophisticated feel to it. Like a lot of the design choices, material choices, little aesthetic things that they did are things that you might see on bags that are $150, 200 USD. So the fact that you can get a nicer looking bag at only 99 bucks is definitely one of the unique selling points that Orendo is bringing to the table. Let's talk about this front pocket. This front pocket is a left shoulder swing, right shoulder grab compartment. Now the thing is that the pocket is quite small, just a little bit over 8 inches, which seems like a lot, but a lot of bags will have taller pockets here because 8 inches can just be a little bit tight when you want to grab things. But Orendo did a nice job here because they didn't deck this compartment out with a bunch of smaller pockets. They're not saying, hey, organize your smaller bits of gear here. They're just kind of saying, hey, this is a throw-all. And it's a throw-all for quicker access things like your gum, maybe a wallet. And I think you might be able to throw bulkier headphones in there as well. A little tight, maybe that won't work. Just want to test it out though. Because the pocket size is actually just the entire seam width here, so it doesn't extend up. So you can just barely get your Sony XM-H5s in there. And one nice little touch that Orendo has done are these little zipper pullers. You've got like the fake leather pull tab. This sort of like, I don't know, I get like sailor vibes from it. It's sort of nautical. But again, it's interesting, it's unique, and I commend Orendo for trying to do things a little bit different. Okay, moving on, let's get into the meat and potatoes and talk about the middle of the Orendo & Co. Everyday Backpack. Now, 2 water bottle holders are great. It gives you a lot more functionality and external storage space on your bag. And we're gonna test out what water bottles it fits in just a minute. Now, before we get into the main compartment, we have this top zippered pocket here. Again, a little bit on the smaller side. I'm 5'8", so my hands aren't the biggest, but you know, it's enough room to grab. It's a little tight, but again, no additional organization, just a drop pocket. And I love Orendo's choice of this orange lining. Its neon color helps to create a highlight effect, which just makes it easier to find what you could wear, especially on those dark days, those rainy nights, whatever it might be. And it's a ripstop nylon, so it's got a bit more durability to it as well. Top pocket like this could be a good spot for your sunglasses or your wallets. Now, one thing that might irk some modern backpack lovers, yes, there are us that are backpack lovers, called the carry community, is this sort of half opening for the main compartment. Also keep a note that whatever you have in this pocket could limit your ability to fully open the main compartment. But as you can see, we're in. This is not that full, like, clamshell style opening that a lot of people like. Inside the main compartment, we have an entire sort of tech organization area here and a couple of lining pockets on either side here. All right, let's go ahead and get it packed out. Here you can see I got some of my typical everyday carry stuff. But let's start with the laptop. You can see here I got a cutout 3D mold of a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And we're just very, very tight squeeze. So this laptop compartment is gonna be easy. Anything smaller than a 16-inch will fit. Anything larger will not fit. 16 on the dot though, wow. I mean, you can see that it's stressing the fabric right here, which isn't gonna harm your laptop by any means. So don't worry about that, but you know, it's not the most satisfying. It's gonna be a little tight and be made tighter potentially if the backpack is fully packed out. But the good news is that there's a bit of a false bottom and some padding at the bottom of the tech compartment, which gives your laptop extra protection. Velcro closure, and now I can go ahead and start packing out the admin compartment. And this bag is designed in a way that's sort of communicating to me, it's a work bag. We've got pen sleeves, 3 of them, to be specific. And all these little pockets here are great for your techier stuff, whether you want to put cords in there. But one thing I'm seeing that I'm not crazy about is how tight these pockets are. So these pockets are made with the internal ripstop orange lining, which is great for durability and visibility, but there's no elasticity to this fabric, right? So now we put a very big laptop in the laptop compartment. Those pockets, borderline unusable. So let's go ahead and put a 13-inch MacBook Pro in there and see if it's a little bit better. You can see it's a lot better for this Velcro for sure too. And we have a bit more room to play with in these pockets, significantly more. So now I can go ahead and actually get these headphones in there if you want. Mesh pockets at the bottom here, could be good for your mouse. And then the 2 lining pockets, I'm gonna throw my compressible tote in one, glasses in the other. But one thing to keep in mind about an organizational panel like this, it's all fine and dandy when there's nothing else in the bag. But if you wanna start packing out the bag with bulkier things like books and notebooks and a hoodie, then the smaller bits that you have organized on this panel become inaccessible, which some people totally fine with. We did a review recently of the Linus Tech Tips commuter backpack. Same sort of design, and I kind of complained about it in the review, and a lot of people in the comments were like, dude, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't put a lot of stuff in my bag. I kind of like that vibe in there. It's easier for me to grab the stuff when I need it. This is a bit of a bummer because of the inability to access the things that you need. Or does it not bother you? Let me know what you think. And now we filled the bag out. You can see it's got some nice structure to it. The design is actually a little more square-like once you pack it out. And that does give it the ability to self-stand really well. I'll be honest, at 99 bucks, to get a bag that, you know, has a nice look to it and it has some functionality, like the ability to self-stand like this, it's kind of a rarity. And that self-standing is helped by this 900D PU-coated polyester, which again, might peel over time, but it has some really nice structure to it and some thickness to it. That's adding to more weight on the bag, on the negative side, for most of us. But on the positive side, it gives it that structure, which makes it a lot better to self-stand, or it self-stands easier. You know what I'm saying. Water bottles. You can see the water bottle holders have an elastic little guy right here, keeping it flush when the water bottle is not in use, but also giving it the ability to expand. This is a 24-ounce Columbia water bottle. And then our 1 liter Yeti, it's a tighter fit but we're gonna get in there. One thing to note is that with this rubbery material, it's a little grippy. So when you're trying to slide a water bottle in there, especially when the bag is full, it's gonna be harder to put it in and to get it out. But again, that could be a negative thing for some, but a positive thing for others, as it makes the water bottle significantly more secure. It'll fall eventually. And these pockets are great too because they're a good spot for other things that you want quick access to externally on the bag, like a small umbrella. Now, before we move on to the next section, I want to let you know that if you're enjoying this really in-depth breakdown of the Orendo & Co. Everyday Backpack, then you're gonna be happy to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter, where I'm basically like your journalist, out on the front lines, telling you about the best bag releases, limited edition drops and collaborations, a bit of industry gossip, plus you get access to our exclusive giveaways and discount codes. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible world of everyday carry and travel gear, which believe me, it's awesome what's happening right now, then be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. There you can sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter and hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the back of the Orendo & Co. Everyday Backpack. Now let's talk about the top handle, which I think might be a bit more controversial. One reason I like it is because it's not like a traditional top handle on the top of the bag. And the more I'm actually spending time with this bag, the more I realize it's a very professional, clean look to it. This is a great bag if you're like, dude, I need a business backpack for my meetings, corporate life, but I'm not spending $300 on a backpack. Give me one for $100. So the lack of a top handle there maintains that professional aesthetic, but here you still have a handle which allows it to be grabbable, functional. It's very basic though, just a basic nylon webbing, super cheap to be honest, but you know, it gets the job done and it maintains that nice flush aesthetic, very sleek. Now for the comfort and the back panel, overall when we were testing this bag out, I found it fine for the price point. This is definitely not gonna compare to, you know, a $300 backpack by Air or Tortuga, where, you know, obviously they're dealing with different sorts of foams and fabrics that give it an elevated sense of comfort. But for 99 bucks, I was more than happy with, you know, just how comfy this bag was. The shoulder straps are actually pretty beefy, both in their width, just under 3 inches, and their depth. You can see we got some padding here. So if you like shoulder straps that, you know, are chunkier, these aren't as chunky as maybe the Air shoulder straps are, but they got some chunk to them, no doubt about that. And they're thick, dude, which can really help with comfort, especially if you're carrying a lot of tech stuff. These bad boys right here are external lash points. You can hang things externally on the bag. Maybe you clip your glasses on there. I've been doing that recently. You pop your shades on there. Nice quick access to them. And then basic nylon webbing at the bottom with a dangle stopper, which we greatly appreciate here at Nomads Nation. But one unfortunate thing is there is no sternum strap. Now usually there doesn't need to be one in my opinion for a bag that's 15 liters. And especially if you're maintaining that kind of sleek, professional aesthetic, the sternum strap can kind of look a little dorky and conflict with that. But I do think it is nice to have the option, at least if it was removable. Oh, and the last note is for the luggage pass-through holder, like I said, this way, which allows you to easily slide your bag over. And we got this thing pretty packed out, and it's a really nice sliding experience. Not always the case with backpacks, especially at this price point. It's very secure, very stable, and most importantly, it allows you to keep your bag upright when you're traveling with a suitcase, which is a game changer if you haven't tried it already. And just to hit home on the comfort, again, 99 bucks, cannot complain. I do reiterate, I'm a sternum strap fan. I like to just kind of have that there, provide a little extra stability. But the padding is great, the comfort is nice. Honestly, the back cushion is really impressive. This actually could be one of the best selling points of the bag. It's not gonna be as luxurious, like I said, as a higher priced bag. This mesh right here is just a little on the coarse side, which isn't my favorite, but it does have a nice grip to it. So it's not gonna slide off your shoulders, which some bags they use like a more luxurious like Lycra or spandex. That can kind of happen sometimes as well. Comfort though is subjective. Everybody feels differently about it. So if you have any questions about this bag's comfort or really any bag's comfort or really any questions about any bag, also be sure to check out the Nomads Nation subreddit. We put together one of the biggest communities of bag and gear nerds on the web. And it's a great spot to ask any questions you might have. Okay, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Orendo Everyday Backpack. Pro number 1, it's got actually a pretty sleek aesthetic. Pro number 2 is its ability to self-stand. Pro number 3, I think it's actually a pretty comfortable wear. And pro number 4 is that all these things are pros because of the price point, only coming in at 99 bucks. But on the flip side, I got some cons. Here they are. Con number 1, the primary fabric is PU coated, which means that it might peel over time. Con number 2 is gonna be a lack of accessibility to that admin compartment, especially when the main compartment is fully packed out. Con number 3 is while this bag is advertised to fit a 16-inch laptop, it was a very tight fit. And con number 4, just a little quirk from me. I just love a sternum strap on a backpack, and I wish this bag had one. But if you're still here, it could mean that you've weighed the pros and the cons and you're thinking about making a purchase. And if that's the case, just a reminder, we do request that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link just makes sure that you get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. But if you're not quite sold, I did tease some alternative suggestions earlier in the video. Let's talk about them. First of all, if you are new to the channel, I highly suggest checking out our leaderboard rankings video. And that's where the Nomads Nation team of gearheads gets together and we pick our favorite bags in distinct bag categories. And you can watch that video linked above. But if we're pretty close with the Orendo & Co., let me give you some specific alternative recommendations that might better suit your needs. My first alternative suggestion is going to be really any bag from Mopak. They're another budget brand around the same price point, around 100 USD. And their bags maintain a nice sense of sophistication. They're not gonna be as structured or maybe as corporate. They're a little bit more quirky, but still have a really nice aesthetic to them for the price point. And alternative recommendation number 2 is going to be the Tomtoc T71. Another great budget option, especially if you want really impressive comfort and laptop protection. Tomtoc's one of the best bang for your buck bag brands out there, and we were really impressed by the T71. Mopak makes great bags too. This Orendo, it rocks. Honestly, there's so many awesome bags out there. Just about finding the one that best suits your needs. And to learn more about the alternatives, to see if they're a better fit for you, you can just watch these videos here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.